DBSCG things.
What's up, Yuhp gang? It's your boy Taxon, and welcome back to Yuhp DBSCG Things, and today we're going over another very exciting deck profile, guys. This is going to be a deck jumping straight out of perfect combination. This is U6 Kefla. But before we get into it, guys, I do want to say if you guys want any custom mats and or sleeves, absolutely check out Promats, guys. This is the best place to go get your custom card needs, and if you guys do decide to get a mat from them, make sure you use the promo code Yuhp to save on your entire order. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed this list or my content in general, remember to hit all those buttons for me, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And with that being said, let's turn it around and check out the list. Alrighty, you guys, and here we are with the list, a brand new deck coming straight out of set 23 and going absolutely hard at our locals today, showing off some absolute spice that this deck can do. Go ahead and tell us about your deck today and, of course, your matchups.
Alright, so this is the new Kefla leader. Sorry, it's been a long day. So front side is Kale and Cauliflower. Auto when they attack, look 5 cards. Top 5, add a yellow U6 to your hand, shuffle. When you exit 4 or less, or if there is a yellow cauliflower and a yellow kale in your battle area and or combo area, you can also awaken. Draw 1, ready 1, go down to 6. So that's a very good awakening condition for this deck. Very easy to achieve. Turn to awakening every time. Backside, Kefla Patara Fusion Dilemma. Auto once per turn when your yellow card is used in a combo, draw a card. And auto once per turn when your mono yellow Kefla card is played, this card gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. Very basic leader on this side, but that is exactly what the deck wants out of a leader. So that's pretty good. We'll get into the Z deck because the Z leader is very good and very important for the deck. SS2 Kefla Tide Turning Awakening. For 2Z, no energy, but your life has to be at 3 or less, and you have to have a mono yellow Kefla played. Mono yellow Kefla card. So there's 2 cards in the game that can be played on. You're gonna, anyways. Once per turn, when your yellow Kefla card is played, this card gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. Notice it is now a yellow Kefla, not just a mono yellow Kefla. That is very important. Auto, when this card attacks, draw a card, then you choose one of your opponent's battles using cards and tap it, so you can get rid of blockers. And once per turn, when your mono yellow Kefla card attacks, you draw a card. Base 20k Z leader. It is very unfortunate that you do have to have the mono yellow Kefla in play, but it is well worth it and fairly easy to accomplish with this deck. Next, I run 1 Kale's Rampage. This is from the new set as well. Once per turn, when one of your yellow Kale cards attacks, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards using cards and tap it, and then your attacking card gains plus 10,000 power for the turn. Auto at the end of your turn, if you have a yellow Kale card in play, you add 1 card from your life to your hand. So it does force you to burn, but considering you awaken, go down to 6, and then you need to be at 3 to Z awaken, that can be very useful. And that power buff is huge. That makes this card really good and well worth the potential downsides of that. Obviously, you gotta be careful you don't get caught at 1 life, but risk and reward. I run 2 copies of the new SS2 Kale Friend Regaining Senses. For 3, 1 specified yellow and 2 Z for 15k deflect permanent if Kale's Rampage is in your battle area, reducing energy cost card in your deck by 2, so it becomes a 1 and 2 15k. Limit 1 if this card is in battle to one of your yellow cauliflower cards using a combo. This card gains double strike for the battle. Most of the Kales in this deck do that, gaining skills. This one's really nice because with Kale's Rampage, she's a base 15k, so that's 25. You combo that makes her 30k. So 30k double striker for potentially up to only 2 energy is pretty big. And then, of course, you go into your Keflas on top of that. Get into that later on. For my last 3 slots, this has some good generic cards. Gamma 2 Executing Justice, 1 and 1 for a 10k. Villainous in play, no specified cost. Limit 1, you place a villainous from a battle area into the drop area. When it's played against 10k and double strike. Main limit 1, bottom deck card from your hand removed from the game until the end of your opponent's next turn. When they activate a counter or villainous skill, you draw a card. Just good generic yellow for the most part. And then, generic good yellow. Oolong Greed is good for 1 and 2 for a 4k, unique, but activate main once per turn, so it's 1 battle card during barrier. His power becomes equal to that card's power for the turn. So potentially, just steal power. It's a good 1 for 1 energy, just make another big attack for going for game. Finally, I run one of the SS3 Vegeta, Terrifying Agent of Destruction, for 3 with only 2 specified yellow, 2 Z energy, 20k dual attack. Once played, you choose an opponent's battle card, ignoring barrier, KO it. Then if you KO a rest mode card, he gains critical. A very good generic card. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole reason he's in here. I haven't actually played any of the Z cards, but I haven't played the deck any of the other generic Z cards, but they're in there because they're good, and I feel like I will at some point. So, main deck. From set 7, I run 4 Kefla the Bold Sister. 4k, 1-drop, permanent. This card can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills. When she's played, top 5 blue or yellow, use 6 to your hand. She's a searcher. She's very good. And there's no energy cost restriction on her. And it's top 5. It's kind of ridiculous. From the new set, I run 4 copies of this Kefla preparing for Patara Fusion. Auto, when she's played, you draw a card. Auto, if your leader card is this card or a Kefla Z leader, and you discard a card from your hand, when you combo with her from your hand, play 1 yellow kill with energy cost of 1 from your drop area in rest mode with its skills negated. There might be, I don't think there's another target, but the target I run 4 copies of this Kale, cheering on her friend. She's a 1-drop, obviously. Counterattack, limit 1 if your leader card is a yellow Kefla card. Play this card in rest mode and choose one of your cards. It gets plus 5,000 power for the battle. But permanent, if you have 3 or more energy and you have a Kale's Rampage in your battle area, she's free. So that's just a free 5k buff to probably your leader card. And you get a Kale in play for later usage. Speaking of Kales, we got some 4-drops from the main deck. SS Kale, Omen of a Rampage. Activate main, limit 1 for a yellow if your leader card is this card or a Kefla Z leader. You have 2 more energy. Draw a card, play it from your hand. So she becomes a 1-drop 10k. Auto, when she attacks, you use up to 1 mono yellow universe 6 card with 5,000 comp power from your drop in account with skills negated for the turn. So her main thing is to combo with Keflas. And we'll get into why that's important in a minute. But first, we have one other 4-drop Kale. The one I usually prefer playing early on. This one's great for later once you don't have Keflas in play. But this Kale, she has the same play conditions. This leader or Kefla Z leader, 2 or more energy, 1 yellow, draw a card, play it from your hand, 10k. Instead of the free combo, she gets once per turn when she's in battle. When you combo with a Kefla card, she gains critical for the battle. So with Kale's Rampage, she becomes a 25k crit attacker when you combo, which can be pretty big.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So the reason why you combo Keflas constantly using Kales, the inset Keflas that came with this set, came with this deck. So this is a 6-drop 16k blocker. So the way she plays is a little funky. Activate battle, limit 1 for a yellow. If you have 2 or more energy, you choose a yellow Kale card in your battle area and a yellow Kefla card in your combo area. At the end of the damage step, you play it from your hand, or you draw 1 card, play it from your hand, place all the chosen cards under it, and then this one also, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. So she plays at the end of the damage step, so before the cards go to the drop area, and if you do it during your opponent's turn, because it's not limited to your turn, it's just limit 1, you can KO something in rest mode that has a multi-attack skill, because it hasn't untapped yet, which is pretty big. Then she's a blocker, auto limit 1. When this card attacks or activates blocker, use up to 1 card from under it in a combo with the skills negated for the turn. So, I mean, yeah, her other effect is pretty basic. The big part, she's a mono yellow Kefla to get this skill. She combos to get your draw skill. And she can be played once you have 2 or more energy, so that's one of your turn 2 plays. The other card that cares about...
Sweet that this card, I'm just not noticing, this card gives your Kales the 10k for the turn. So
yes.
You were saying you can use this card.
Yes, so...
When you swing with her, she'll combo this from the drop, and then you can activate battle to use this, and after this damage is done, after that 25k crit is dealt with, she then plays over top of these 2 cards, and then gains the 10k that you're carrying from this.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
So that's another thing with Kale's Rampage, is especially if you can get it out early on, again, like you said, 25k crit or just a 25k attack, and then she goes from a 16 to a 26 combo. That's 31k swinging.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So the other card, SS2 Kefla Surging Flash. She's an 8-drop 30k double strike dual attack. The same activate main, so activate main limit 1 for 2 yellow. If you have 4 more energy, yellow cauliflower from your combo area, yellow kill from your battle area, and a damage step, draw 1, play it from your hand, place all the chosen cards under it. So she doesn't get the rest mode KO like this card does. So she's designed to be played on your turn. Keyword skills kind of denote that. And then auto. If your leader card is mono yellow, you place 1 card from under it into your drop. When she attacks, you choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards, ignoring barrier, KO it, and during your opponent's next charge phase, they only get to untap 4 total cards. So that's between their energy, battle, unison, leader, all of that. They only get to untap 4 cards. That is huge for this deck. That is an amazing aspect of control, because once you get to turn 4, you get this out, her attack resolves. That can be huge, especially if your opponent went in the last turn and they have everything tapped. That can make or break a lot. That can make or break your games. I'm very fond of this card.
That reminds me of an old boss monster. What else did that? Bojack. 8-drop Bojack.
Yeah.
It is a little different because you're forced to not be able to untap, whereas that you have to like warp cards per untap.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. I also run 3 copies of the old SS2 Kefla Lightning Speed. Energy Exhaust, Double Strike Blocker, Rival Blue Yellow, 2 blues and a yellow. Played an opponent's battle card, ignoring barrier, bottom deck it. Great removal. Again, an 8-drop 30k yellow Kefla. So that triggers the Z leaders plus 5k, but not her plus 5. Which honestly, that's still great to give your leader plus 5 during your opponent's turn from playing something that's going to remove their card. Then, on top of that, activate main limit 1. Your opponent has 3 or more energy. You discard a card from your hand. She gains dual attack. Then if you pitch a copy of her, draw 2 cards, tap any card your opponent has. So that can tap energy, that can tap battle cards, leader, whatever you need. And you draw 2 cards. So I only run her at 3 because she is a heavy combo in the deck. But definitely could run her at 4, and I mean, that wouldn't be bad because you need copies for her to discard. I've always been a big fan of this card. So you need blue energy. So far the deck's been mono yellow. Hit flawless attacker. Most of his skills don't matter for this. What's important? Energy exhaust, but permanent if you have a yellow universe 6 card, and play this card's energy exhaust skill is negated in all areas. Literally, that is the only part of all these skills that matters for this deck. Everything else is for like Surge Kefla or hit, the old yellow hit. So he has energy exhaust skill negated. He works great. He's another reason I run this card, because she can't be KO'd. So you play her turn 1, can't be KO'd by skills, so it's more difficult to remove her. Then you have this ready for turn 2 to start getting your blue yellow energy. And then for blue yellow arrival, I run 3 copies of Zamasu Sacred Disbelief, super combo energy exhaust, auto fluid cards blue or yellow, and use in a combo to one of your opponent's leader cards or battle cards and switch to rest mode. Great control aspect, tapping your opponent's cards down. That's your blue yellow arrival for this card. But I'm only running 3 of it.
Wonder why.
Gohan and Piccolo, Newfound Mike. Piccolo and Son Gohan, Newfound Might. 3 plus 5 plus 30k, 40,000 power, ultimate super combo.
Newfound and Mike. That sounded like an album cover.
Permanent for each card your opponent has in rest mode, reduces combo cost by 1. Auto, if your card is yellow, a Son Gohan Adolescence or Piccolo card, end of battle, we're using a combo, play it from your drop area. Auto wins cards played or attacks. Draw 1 card, choose up to one of your opponent's unison cards or battle cards and switch to rest mode. Great control aspect, and it is amazing in this deck because you're going to tap your opponent's stuff down, using your Z leader skill, using your Kale's Rampage. So you're easily going to get to that free 0 plus 30 to make your double strikers lethal, or for extra control during your opponent's turn because, hey, they only untapped for their 12 cards. It is a great secret rare for this deck, and I don't think I'd run another secret rare in this deck. unless they came out with some mono yellow Kefla secret rare that was busted. So that's the main deck. The rest of it is just, negates and stuff. We'll go over those real quick, what I chose to use. So I run 3 copies of Mecha Freeze Robotic Riposte. People are pretty familiar with it. Negate, permanent, reduces cost by 1 for each. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, I haven't actually read this well. If your lyric card is yellow and your opponent has 2 or more energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each yellow extra card in your energy area and drop area. And as a flood negate, your opponent can only... If your opponent attacks the non-using card, they have to tap another card to do so. This activate main doesn't matter in this deck. But it also becomes a 15k beat stick if need be. And then, of course, it becomes a 1-drop flood negate. I also run 3 Forbidden Powers in case my opponent's running counterplays. So, to counterattack, lyric cards yellow, your opponent can only attack with battle cards 1 more time for the turn. I run a few blockers, so that's not really a big issue. It also has an Activate Battle that I've never used, ever. But Activate Battle, if your card is yellow and it's your turn, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and switch to rest mode. Then choose up to one of your yellow cards and gets plus 10,000 power for the battle. That is not a bad effect by any means. That is a good effect. I personally have never used it. I've only used this card for the Flood Negate effect.
I used that one time to tap down an Android 21 SCR that he was going to leave in active. I was playing yellow, so
yeah,
you got to have your cards in rest mode to get rid of them.
Yeah. Alright. I run only 3 copies of Senzu Bean. Deck space is a little bit tight, but everyone knows this card for 1 blue. If it's your opponent's turn, give one of your cards plus 5 for the turn, untap 2 energy. It's a set 1 card. It is a staple for blue, and it's great for getting a rival off. Now, I was running 4 copies of Secret Weapon from a God. So for 1 energy, activate main, limit 1, leader card's a yellow Universe 6 card, reveal a Kefla card from your hand, and discard another card from your hand. Add up to 1 Kale card and 1 Kefla card, both energy costs of 1 from your deck to your hand. Shuffle your deck, then if you revealed a mono yellow Kefla, you draw a card. On the surface, this isn't bad, and for mono yellow, if you're playing this deck mono yellow, it would be great, because obviously that's your turn 1 play, and it's an energy it's a card for Mecha Frieza to become 1 less. But personally, the way I run the deck, playing the 1-drop Caulifla turn 1, that's my turn 1 play, and I don't really want to invest the energy into this in later turns if I don't have to. So I'm probably going to cut it personally. It was almost always energy fodder, or if I had to play it, I really would have preferred if I had another card in the deck at the time.
What would you cut it for?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna
probably good yellow extra cards.
Yeah, probably, or time magic.
Gotcha.
Because I don't have any time magics in here. I realized after the tournament. So that was the deck. I ended up only going 1-2, 1 win, 2 losses, but I'm still very happy with how it performed. Round 1 was against the Red Garlic Jr. deck, because it got the new support. It was annoying because, as you saw, I don't actually run a lot of the generic good yellow stuff, so I could not negate his indestructibles to get rid of those. So those just stuck on board to keep on pestering me, and then of course the big ones, neg things, so that just got rid of my Keflas immediately, so I couldn't reuse them multiple turns in a row. But because it's a wish deck, it was pretty slow to start up, which helped me because this deck likes to slow roll. It ended up being I had like 5 life when we went into overtime, and he had 2. That's what won it for me in the end. But it was kind of one-sided, to be perfectly honest with you.
I'm sure that's how most of Garlic's matchups went today.
Yeah. Round 2, I went up against Yellow U7 on stream. That was a very rough matchup. I definitely didn't play the best during that, but it was very close, very heated. It came right down to the wire at the end, and he managed to out-combo my last attack. But I'm not at all upset with how that turned out. I was not expecting it to be Burn U7. Last week they played victories. They focused on the victory strike, and I was ready for that. I was not ready for the burn aspect. Round 3, I went up against Red Pan. It was a very back and forth game. I ended up going in at the very end, and he had just enough combo power to out-combo me, and then I was tapped out. I had nothing left in hand. I ended up losing, but It came right down to it. Ended up being fairly aggressive, but I went first, so I was able to get to the 4 energy to play my big 8-drop Kefla. I rattled the 8-drop Kefla turn before, so lots of swings, lots of aggression, one last big attack, just not quite enough. But I'm still very happy with how this deck performed today.
Alrighty, with that being said, that was your deck and, of course, your matchups. Do you have any final shoutouts?
Just to you guys for letting us show off these new decks, and to show off things, apparently not a lot of people are running any sort of blue-yellow for this. I'll admit it can be a little bit clunky, but having that through barrier removal without having to worry about like having all the mono yellow energy for final flash or whatever, it also, again, another reason I ran it, it's a battle card, so it can affect Victory Strike.
That's actually pretty nice. Also, one more thing I want to add, since you're talking about the blue-yellow package, your leader beans itself, as well as you have bean. So if you really need to, you can double bean and be like 30k.
Oh yeah,
with only using 1 bean, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. Your leader can get stacked up in power pretty quickly in this deck.
Alrighty, with that being said, thank you so much for showing off your brand new Kefla list coming out of set 23 and absolutely talking about your matches today. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Always smash all those buttons for us, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.